Are we on?
We're at this Tool concert.
All right.
It's awesome. We're in the shitter.
Tool's one. Man, people overlook all the time.
Yeah, well, it's because they only put out an album like every 10 years.
We could name other bands, but we'll get to that
Not
later.
very active.
We'll get to that later. Hey, good weekend, everybody. I think that's the way to start off a Friday, yeah?
That's right.
The weekly Mead, Metal, and MMA podcast. I'm Kevin. He is Brandon.
Good evening, everybody.
Like it or not.
That's right. Whether you dig me or you don't.
Had people saying, hey, well, how come we can't hardly hear the lead-in music when you guys get started? Well, because we only get pulled off of YouTube.
Yeah.
So we can't have it terribly loud. It can't be recognizable more than a few bars.
Yeah, apparently playing a licensed track on YouTube is same as like putting your dick out there on YouTube.
Gets everybody's panties in a wad.
That's right.
Right in their ass. So, yeah, there it is. That's why.
By the way, apologies if I sound like shit. Had
Are
quite
you
an
sick
evening.
again?
Oh yeah, sick of drinking for 12 hours straight.
Oh, you got the brown bottle flu.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, no, I feel fine. It's just I sound like shit, and people probably think I sound like shit anyway.
I don't know. You
But
give
that's
yourself
all right.
too much credit.
That's right. I'm just trying to sound like Barry White today.
We like to come together every week, talk about our three favorite subjects and a whole shitload more generally these days. Mead, metal, and MMA generally in that order, unless one of us is having a little bit too much of this rye whiskey.
That's right. I'm gonna fix my throat right now.
Which we have. This week, we're drinking our standard American lager. I think you can figure out which one that is. We're drinking them in the tall boys, as one should. We do have our peasant beers lined up for later.
That's right. The king of beers. You know, I went to a concert. This might be jumping the gun on metal stuff, but it just reminds me. It's a Budweiser story more than it is a metal story. When I went to see Blind Guardian, the one time they were like, "Oh, we're going to play Albuquerque," and then they're never coming back, obviously.
As one does when one plays Albuquerque.
Yeah. Touristus was the band, not an opener, but the middle band. There was like three bands: Holy Grail, Touristus, and Blind Guardian headliner. And
one of those sounds okay.
Yeah, Holy Grail actually was, Blind Guardian, I fucking love Blind Guardian. Holy Grail is pretty good for like classic 80s thrash metal kind of sound.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Touristus is gotten worse.
It's a developed taste.
At the time, though, like the album they were touring on, which was battle metal, I think, fucking awesome. Then it just got worse. But in between the song, he has a bottle of Budweiser. And he's looking at it like, "These Budweiser, it's the king of beers, correct?" And fucking, of course, everybody in Albuquerque loses their shit because everybody loves Budweiser there. And he's like, "This is more like the jester of beers." Because this dude comes from fucking Europe.
Sure.
Where pissworm chongo that we have here don't fly over there. And he got a couple more cheers, but he actually got some booze from the Indian folk that were there partying. Budweiser.
Them that'll put away the aqua velva.
Yeah. Yeah, when I say Indian, I don't mean like Pakistani Indian, India, like anything like that. I'm talking
them that own laundromats, hotel chains, and whatnot.
I'm talking the ones that got displaced from their homes and now just walk the streets of Albuquerque getting drunk.
Which is existence, but not a good one.
That rye really gave me a little more energy. I dig it. I'm going to have to drink about 5 more shots before
you
the podcast.
Remember when Moon Sorrow was touring? They went to the weirdest damn thing ever. They did their European tour last year. They hit the UK, and they took a photo. It was like, what the fuck is this? It was like a tub full of Budweisers. They're in the UK. I mean, there's not great beer in England, but there's some better
beer in comparison.
As I tell my lady, look, I'm drinking Budweiser not because it's great beer, it's because it's refreshing. There's not a lot of, it's not like eating a meal like you get with a lot of your heavier beers.
It's the perfect average beer.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I drink it. I don't tell people, I drink Budweiser because
I'm a fucking man. That's why.
I have a very established palate for this. No, bullshit. I'm just drinking it because it's not terribly expensive. It's refreshing and it gets the job done.
And an 8-pack of Tall Boys is a pretty good night, actually.
Yeah, it works out
for one person. 2 people, you need to upgrade the
15.
16.
But yeah.
15 on a weekday, not bad.
Oof. All right, so let's get to it. Mead, let's get to that side of it. I have some interesting news on that one. We've, from day one, since we started our little operation, a friend of mine, I'm just going to call him Doc, just to keep things simple, but without identifying him too heavily, which
Indeed.
I probably already did.
Yeah,
But
well, around here you may have.
he has always had the because I work with him at my day job, he has always had first shot at buying the first bottle out of every batch. And I don't want to say it's annoying, but he would say, hey, so what did you and Brandon do this weekend? Well, we bottled up a batch, whatever, a troublemaker batch, whatever. And he'd whip his wallet out. And I was like, whoa. Well, we don't have the labels ready or anything else. We're going to let it settle. It's going to be a couple of weeks yet. Wouldn't matter. He'd say, well, here you go. He'd donate, to our cause, Mead for Metal, # Mead for Metal. You can look
That's
it
right.
up. So he would donate to that. And then I would feel, oh, my God, we're already behind. We're already sucking hind tit because we didn't have, a bottle for me to go ahead for his donation and put it in his hand within the next day or two. It'd take weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody jumped that even more. Our little beer princess. No, that'd probably annoy her. Actually, my spirit animal, Krista, was the first one to jump on board of getting the first bottle of Runestone purchased or donated for, rather. I need to make sure my nomenclature is correct.
Watch your words.
No. She's the first one to donate for that, for the Runestone batch, which won't be ready. I mean, I don't foresee it ready for 4 weeks, probably 6 or 8.
Yeah. I mean, if you're enjoying it in June, then I would say we're probably ahead of schedule on it.
Yeah, it's gonna be a July batch probably. So anyway, thanks to her for being the first one to kind of get ahead of Doc Elder in that weird line that we have on folks that donate to our cause.
We always like to pit our donators against each other to be better.
All right. So anyway, that's that. Let's
we threw the additions in.
We did. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. We're 1 week in. Right after the podcast last week, we went ahead and put in our amendments and our orange. We'll see. I went with a weird kind of an orange, not really knowing what the potency of its citrus flavor would be.
Right.
And I went with one over another just because the other was blood orange. Look, blood orange is great for a lot of things, but it is a little bit heavy on the palate.
Yeah.
I don't want Mead being overtaken by a flavor of orange. I don't want it to be like, hey, I love your orange drink that's got a little bit of alcohol in it.
I like your orange malt liquor drink.
So we added that. We added the vanilla. We added some of our other special amendments. And Runestone is off and rocking with that. We're going to pull a test in a week. Probably before the podcast, so that way we can kind of report back. But we'll let you know the progress of that.
Yeah,
batch.
might even pull a test out and try it on the podcast. Get a little live reaction.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, that'd be fun. Because what we aim for is we're wanting the flavors to actually be a little stronger than what we care for, because as it matures, as the aging process takes place in secondary fermentation, it begins to evolve a little bit. And the more time that goes by, the more those flavors become muted. So, we kind of are hoping for a heavy flavor of orange and vanilla.
Also in the event that we might have to clarify a little bit, we won't be stripping out too much of the flavor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly right. So, for those of you saying, "Oh, okay, cool," so you guys are getting the initial workings underway for Green Man because I loved it last year. No, that's the answer with that one. We're going to.
Oh, it's coming.
I think a lot of it is because we haven't been overactively pushing the donation schedule. So, and basically, it's all based on the ability to purchase honey and be able to turn out more mead, therefore to get in your hot little hands to where then we can buy more music gear. That's how the whole thing operates. So,
yeah, and hopefully right around the time Runestone is getting wrapped up and we're getting close to bottling, hopefully we'll have another batch underway.
Which, yeah, because in 1 week we're already into May, so that means we need to have the early workings. We've got to get a batch started in the next week, I think. So Green Man's early start, and obviously we want to do a Piment batch as well.
Right.
I think I've already explained what Piment is on an earlier podcast.
Yeah, the grape.
Yeah, the grape batch. So anyway, that's the Mead update for this week. It's a long, slow process. I mean, we kind of knew that going in on the podcast that we weren't exactly going to be, shutting down lanes of traffic talking about updates every week. So
much like the process of making mead, it's just time, But when we do have big updates, they're big updates.
Right. And we got big updates on metal this week.
I was pretty damn pleased to see that Zakk Wylde has gotten back with Ozzy. I think that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, my brother Daryl in Austin a big fan of our podcast, and we appreciate his information. We really do.
Absolutely.
Said you guys might want to know this, and well, I'll be damned. I don't keep up with a lot of mainstream metal, but so Zakk Wylde. I mean, how big is that? I don't know. Shit, on a scale of 1 to 10.
For Zakk Wylde, it's huge. Because the dude, because he used to be a big drinker, huge drinker.
Right.
Then he had some blood clot issues in his legs. Kind of changed. I don't even think he drinks anymore, which is really funny because if you look at the guy, he just looks like that's all he does is drink and fight people and play guitar while his fingers are on fucking bleeding to death.
So you're saying he looks like a metal guitar player?
Yeah, the atypical fucking guitar player.
Right.
When I can't remember if he was on. No, I think it was Jakey Lee on the No More Tears album.
Okay.
After that, I think that's when Zakk joined the band, and which we were talking about yesterday. The weirdest Ozzy album is actually my favorite. Osmosis is my favorite because that's when I think Zakk Wylde just came out and said, "I'm here, bitches."
Is that what we want to do? Is discuss our favorite Ozzy album right now? Because
it's it's really it's more just like when it came out at the time for me.
Yeah. Well, my problem is I would love to say Diary of a Madman, but the problem is that was the most overhyped album that Ozzy ever had. But it is also the one that launched him really into commercial mainstream because they were able to put out the next album, which is my favorite, and that's Blizzard of Oz.
Right.
Randy Rhoads' last album. I mean, and again, I feel like I'm walking over somebody's grave saying this, but Randy Rhoads was he was an innovator for the time, but comparatively, when people say he's the greatest guitar player to ever live, they're crazy.
He just didn't have the time.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, same thing. I mean, I'd love to say, the Dwayne Allman, or what. I would love to be able to say that. These are guys who were taken way too early.
Right.
Jimi Hendrix, you could make the same argument. That guy left this world far too soon.
Sure.
These are not guys who were able to branch out and you were able to see the full methodology of their musicianship, I would say.
There's not a whole lot of musicians that were sadly not around for a good long while. Cliff Burton is one that you fucking knew.
Well, that's a weird one, though.
Yeah,
that guy died of a bus crash.
Yeah, but you also knew just from what he did from Kill 'Em All and on Ride the Lightning, you knew that dude was just going to be amazing. Sure. And he was at the time. He was already amazing. He was a bass player, but he's like Lemmy. He played almost as if it was a rhythm guitar.
He died, and Metallica for almost 15 years, 20 years said, "That's it. We want no more bass players."
Yeah, Jason Newsted said, "We're going to hire you, but guess what, bitch? You ain't going to be able to hear your bass on Injustice for All. We're turning that shit down.
You're going to have to figure out a way to isolate tracks to hear what you're doing, son."
It is pretty cool that all these many years later, with the technology we have, that they were actually able to bring up the bass on there, because there's a YouTube video called Injustice for Jason.
Yeah.
It's a whole album, but with the bass probably up a little higher than it should be, but since we've never heard it before, it's all right.
It sounds like something entirely... It sounds like another band doing a cover of Metallica.
But you know what? I think I prefer... And it might just be because it's been the standard since '89. I like the original. I like it with where it is because it's just grittier.
Right.
But it is nice to know that Jason actually did play bass on that.
Well, that guy was getting a paycheck. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
He was doing shit. He can actually play bass.
Let's get to one of the apparently turning to be one of the more of favorite segments we do, and that is this day in metal and around the world.
Yes. It's again, and usually anytime I pull a shit up on the internet, the first band that pops up is the Beatles, because apparently they were always doing shit.
Apparently the Beatles were a thing.
This day, 1973, Dark Side of the Moon hit #1 on the charts.
Yeah, but it didn't go away for, good God almighty, like 80, 81?
Let's see.
It set a record that will never be broken.
Yeah. Record-breaking 741 discontinuous weeks on the charts.
741. So it's 52. Well, shit, I was way off. So it's like way into the...
That's over 12 years.
Yeah. So 87, probably 86, 87, before Dark Side of the Moon falls off as #1.
Yeah, and then it got moved over to the top pop, the catalog chart, and another 759 weeks there. over 1,500 weeks on the charts by May of 06.
I'm starting to think I might need to pick that one up on iTunes.
I think I don't know if I've even heard that album before.
Would I be a bandwagoner at this point to jump on with Dark Side of the Moon?
I've always wanted to try the Wizard of Oz thing.
Yeah.
Just from what I've seen on the Joe Rogan podcast, they played a little snippet that's actually on YouTube and just blew Joey Diaz's fucking mind.
Well, that dude.
Apparently it does sync up really well.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's a reason why that's stuck around as long as it has. It does fall off. Once the record's over, it's over.
Yeah.
Other people go, well, but then if you go back and re-cue it, bullshit. But, yeah, that'd be something worth checking out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get a cup of shroom tea going,
We got, what else you got?
Go ahead. You go for it.
No, I got one from Normal History because I'll let Brandon
Normal
do the
history. Plain history.
The secular history. April 28th, 1881 is when Billy the Kid escaped from Lincoln County jailhouse.
Emilio Estevez still on the run.
A couple of counties over from where we are broadcasting right now. Yeah, he avoided capture all the way until July 14th. But yeah, you'll remember if you watched Young Guns, or if you hadn't watched Young Guns, more power to you. It doesn't matter.
Or if you've watched Young Guns too.
I guess that was all right.
It is pretty good.
But yeah, that was the one where he comes out. He goes to the outhouse and comes out, has a gun in there because somebody put one away, and that's actually fairly historical.
Right.
Is that somebody was basically trying to go ahead and get a gun into his hand so he could make good his escape. And
I think it's great for as much as we dig on the history of the West.
Sure.
And it shows, especially when we're tabletopping. We live an hour away from Fort Sumner.
Yeah.
Never been to his grave.
Drive by there. Oh, there's the turnoff. Ah, shit! I got places.
Yeah. I don't. There's just no allure for me to do it. Been to the Lincoln County Courthouse. Have not been to his grave.
Yeah.
Because I believe he's still alive.
And I will say that
at 140 years,
having lived here for more years than I can count, Billy the Kid is for people that are not from here.
Right. Yeah, he's huge everywhere but in New Mexico.
Because that's the smart way to do. If you want to draw, business is to name a business, anything involving Billy the Kid or whatever. Right. And that's you go through Fort Sumner. I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for Billy the Kid, I don't know that town would be more than about a half a dozen people.
They wouldn't even have a Super 8 anymore.
Oh, that's right. They do actually have a.
That's the only hotel I've seen there, other than that one that has all the neon. Which you don't go stay at a hotel with neon. You just don't. Unless you have a specific thing you need to get done.
You got a hooker.
Or you need to murder somebody.
No, that's right. Murder is always at the neon hotel. Sure. So that's that. That's our history portion of the show, I guess.
I do have one more kind of cool.
Okay.
This day in 1982, California State Assembly Consumer Protection Committee heard testimony from experts who claimed that when Stairway to Heaven was played backwards, contained the words, "I sing because I live with Satan. The Lord turns me off. There's no escaping it. Here's to my sweet Satan, whose power is Satan. He will give you 666. I live for Satan."
Wait a minute. So who did that interpretation?
Quote unquote experts.
Okay.
God, just rock gets bad rap, man.
So since Led Zeppelin got sued by somebody else saying that they ripped off their music, can we call somebody else by proxy a Satanist?
I think you can be a Satanist by association.
Wait a minute, I wrote that song. Oh, wait a minute. Everybody's pissed? No, I didn't write that. Oh. Led Zeppelin, obviously, probably the farthest thing from probably that accusation.
And one more last little quick big thing. iTunes Store got opened today in 2003.
Good God, it's only been around 14 years?
Yeah.
It's pretty huge. Yeah, it's pretty huge now. That's an industry.
Yeah, no kidding. It changed the game.
Any other metal? I've got a Wintersun update.
Damn, I was hoping we were going to get through this podcast without mentioning those guys.
I figured you were probably going to try to avoid it because
because I'm done with it.
And inspired the wrath of the faithful hundreds of Wintersun fans. No, they hired a new guitar player this week.
Yeah, they're not. Now he's not really a member of the band.
this is where
touring member of the band.
This is where it gets weird. Yari Minipod decided he is not going to be the lead guitar player and lead singer for said band.
And now it'll be his guitar licks on the album, but when you see Winter Sun live, it ain't gonna be him doing it.
They got somebody else because he's just
he's turning to fucking Madonna.
He's got too much shit going on.
And even Madonna plays guitar occasionally. Damn it! Now I'm mad.
Damn it, Yari. So they have a new guitar player. Fine, all right, fine. Let's get to the MMA portion of this because and some of you might probably accurately assuage that. No, there are no fights tomorrow. There are no fights the week after. It's the 13th of May before we get back to a regular UFC schedule. Now, and I recognize some of you say, look, you guys are not the hardcore MMA fans I hoped you were because all these other minor organizations have got shit going on all the time. And you'd be right, because the fact is that it's hard enough for me to keep up with the 450 some odd fighters in the UFC.
There are a few, even when they do spring cleaning, they have a lot of fucking people on the payroll.
Yeah. So yeah, you'd be right. We catch Bellator when we can, or if we care to.
Yeah.
LFA is one we're kind of locked out on because I refuse to pay cable. So.
Fuck that. We live out in the sticks, people.
Yeah. Yeah, I could get access, but I'm not giving Dish Network hundreds of dollars a month
for a channel
for that.
Yeah.
So maybe get onto a big boy channel and let us know. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, another friend of mine, an internet friend of mine, because I hadn't met the man in person, but we've been following each other on Twitter for a very long time. Alex Pointer is going to be moving on to. It's one of these. I would actually have to look it up. We kind of been talking about it a little bit back and forth. He is now a professional MMA fighter.
Oh, I remember you mentioning that dude.
Yeah. I mean he was doing some amateur stuff, for lack of a better term. But no, he is getting into a very big, interesting kind of an area now. His direct message kind of disappeared here. That's a drag. Yeah,
Here, I'll fill time. So, people,
but yeah, it's going to be. It's on one of those. It's on one of those where you have to pay to. It's where a lot of these jiu-jitsu tournaments come from. It is on a particular.
Like the Eddie Bravo shit.
It's like a flow grappling. Flow grappling. It's going to be on there. When I get more details, when I get a hold of them, I will get the word out. But I'm looking kind of forward to that. Yeah, it's very few people I can actually say, I know a guy that's a professional fighter. But yeah, there it is.
Yeah, kind of at the beginnings of his career. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's absolutely got some very interesting things in the works there. He told me he would keep me up to date and let me know what's happening. I don't think he sent that as a direct message. That might be my biggest problem, not being able to find it. But yeah, but it's going to be on Flow Grappling. As soon as I know, you will know. Yeah, but yeah, he's going to
check that out.
Be getting in there. Well, I know he was fighting 125. I don't know if he's going to stay at that or it's 135. I don't know, but I will find out, and you people will be the first to know.
So is it just strictly grappling that he's rocking right now, BJJ?
Maybe.
Yeah.
No, because I think the organization they broadcast their stuff over Flow Grappling, but it is an actual MMA organization.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, no, we will keep you tuned, and frankly, I don't give a shit if Flow Grappling's $50 a month. I'm going to do it just to see that guy
absolutely
get his first professional bout under his belt. So.
Well, good luck to him.
Yeah. All right, what else we got going on?
Well, we had the fight card last Saturday, the Swanson Loboff card. Wasn't bad. It was fun.
Swanson is not a world killer. There's a lot of people going, look, that guy shows his skills. He's okay.
People just don't fucking like him.
Well, he's a hard guy to like.
He is. I mean, dude is skilled as fuck.
I said he looks like Alan Joban's slow younger brother.
I forgot about that. I mean, he knocks out Diego Zan, which, I was kind of happy to see that.
I'm not a Diego fan at all, but
it's not because of him. It's because of the city he represents.
Yeah, because Diego fought. Oh shit! Who was that guy that knocked
Ross
him out?
Pearson.
Yeah,
no. when he won egregiously.
No, last weekend.
I quit him.
Yeah, Al Iaquinta, who media-friendly Al Iaquinta comes right out and basically tells the UFC, thanks for letting me fight again, and go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, honestly, this guy belongs in pro wrestling. He would come off as a great heel. He really would.
Yeah, he's a heel, all right.
But really, the moment of the night was Mike Perry knocking out Jake Ellenberg with that elbow. Oh, my fucking God.
That was...
Dude
got laid out flat.
Got murked.
Yeah.
When they just go stiff, man, those are scary knockouts.
Yeah, and Jake Ellenberg is a guy he's known for having a good chin, but not that night.
No, that elbow was just vicious. Mike Perry is also kind of an asshole, though.
Yeah.
So
good.
Kind of in the same realm as Al
Like,
Iaquinta.
okay, so yeah, then we get a guy that finally ends up beating Jake Ellenberger. And he turns out being as big an asshole Al Iaquinta.
Well, the difference is with Al Iaquinta, it's him being an asshole is what makes me a fan. I can just appreciate when someone is a good asshole. He's a good asshole. Mike Perry's just an asshole.
Right. Yeah. So last weekend, it was fine.
It was a decent night of fights.
For a fight night, it was okay.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, we've only got the next one coming up is UFC 211.
Yeah.
And that'll be taking place May 13th. Now, that's where we have Stipe Miocic is going to be defending his belt, fighting Junior Dos Santos again.
Yeah.
Because the heavyweight division's only got like 5 or 6 active fighters in there at any given time.
It's weird, man. There's not a whole lot going on at heavyweight. I'm hoping Fabricio comes back up and makes it interesting again.
That's the guy that can do it. Because you really see that much really high-quality jiu-jitsu at the heavyweight level.
The
Or even
only
light
time
heavyweight.
he really did was like in Frank Mir's prime. Like when he broke Nogueira's arm and that stuff.
Right.
Frank Mir was, in comparison to Fabricio, probably not now, but at the time, he was the heavyweight grappler.
But yeah, Fabricio is about pretty much the last high-level submission artist that exists in the heavyweight division. Everybody else, really, like it or not, they're all strikers.
Yeah.
I mean, you might get the occasional guy that can get somebody's back, and get a rear naked choke, but that's about it.
Yeah, usually if they get the back, though, they're either looking for rear naked or they're just going to pummel you.
Yeah, and that's
They're
kind of
hitching the ears repeatedly.
That's the state of the heavyweight division. So how do you? Well, I don't know. We got time.
A little earlier than that.
Yeah,
but I was like we were talking about yesterday. While I was on my 12-hour drinking binge, in between playing Final Fantasy 15, I threw it on. About probably 2 from the dark ages of the UFC. The inception. I put on UFC 5.
Good God, yeah. Well, that's right after they actually put in there you can't really kill each other in the ring.
Yeah, they had, really, UFC 3 you were still seeing. That's when Joe-san got his cock and balls pummeled into a fine red mist. But UFC 5 sticks out of my head because that was Dan Severn. Dan Severn had come out at UFC 4, competed there. But UFC 5 is when you saw him just straight up wrestle motherfuckers to the ground and just beat shit out of them.
Right.
At UFC 4, he had a great run. One of the first times, with it being UFC 4, there's going to be a lot of firsts. Dan Severn was fighting this guy, Anthony Mad Dog Macias, and we saw our first suplex, like legitimate belly-to-back suplex, or suplex, as Jeff Blatnick liked to call it. So I guess that's actually how you say it, suplex.
Well,
but
suplex is all right. We are in America. We can pronounce it that way.
But at the end, in the final of the tournament, Hoist Gracie ended up choking him out of triangle in about 15 minutes. But then he came back at 5 and just destroyed people. And at 5 was also where we got to see Oleg Taktarov for the first time, who is now a fucking actor, a fine Russian actor. Actually,
why not? Why not?
But Dan Severn went on and I think he spent a total 3 fights for that night, less than 10 minutes actually in the octagon. Right. Went on to win the tournament, and the Shamrock Gracie super fight went to a 36-minute draw.
Yeah,
people bitch about MMA, as soon as it goes to the ground, they're like, oh, shit, this fight sucks now. Imagine seeing Hoist Gracie and Ken Shamrock fight on the ground for over half an hour.
Yeah, no thanks.
And Shamrock beat the shit out of Hoist Gracie, but wasn't able to finish it. God, can you fucking imagine fighting for 36 minutes? No rounds.
It was a different sport is the problem I have. There were no rules or very few.
There
rules.
were very few.
And that was pre-Octagon, right?
No, this was Octagon time.
Okay. Well, but it's I don't know. When you could do some of the things you could do back in those days when there were virtually no rules, it kind of changes the entire culture around.
Yeah.
Nowadays, it's a legitimate event. MMA is a legitimate sport.
Sure.
There are athletes in that sport, not just big fat grapplers that take people down and beat the hell out of them.
Are you talking about Tank Abbott, motherfucker?
Anybody.
My third favorite fighter of all time.
Anybody from the first UFC, about the first 12 of them. So.
What about the guy that fucking fought with one hand free and he had a boxing glove on the other hand? The dude that fought Hoist Gracie.
Yes. Christ almighty. All right. We about ready to wrap up because we got nothing else MMA related. Really.
I'd kind of like to just talk about my life for a second, if I could.
Yeah, well,
that's usually the reaction I get from people.
Let's do that, but let's frame it as an intervention. And
oh shit! Is this a fucking intervention? Oh, god damn it!
Shit almighty. All right. So yes, to recap. Yeah, Runestone. We're probably month and a half, probably maybe 2 out. Yeah. And metal side of things, yeah, Zakk Wylde back with Ozzy. Oh, by the way, if you're looking for something new to listen to, it's not new, but it'd be new to you probably. 2015, so 2 years ago, a band out of Iceland by the name of Dynfari put out a record. Check that one out. They're spelled Dynfari.
With like a funky symbol over one of the letters.
Ambient metal is kind of where that kind of falls. So.
Yeah, I can't remember giving you that.
Yeah, no, you did. It was right at the same time where you got me a copy of Bellwitch.
Oh, okay.
Which don't listen to that, but yeah, that's
it was okay, but there was better shit.
You got. We only have so much time on this earth. Listen to good fucking music, drink good booze, and watch some good fights.
Yeah. Picks this week. Mead's probably going to be Troublemaker. Metal. Oh gosh. Feeling like a metal pick. I'm going to go a little fucking grunge. I'm picking Alice in Chains this week.
Yeah.
And on the MMA aspect, I picked Tank Abbott by Triangle Choke.
Hell, let's go ahead and get this Friday underway, folks. We will check in with you again in a week.
Yes, and also shortly after this podcast goes up, there will also be just a standalone version of our cover of Love Song.
Oh yeah, and thanks to a lot of you that really dig what we're doing. We've got more in the pipeline, as they say.
That's right. The creative juices are flowing.
All right, you bunch of heathens. Been great spending time with you. Have a fantastic weekend and a great fucking week next week. And Brandon and I will check back with you again on another edition of Mead, Metal, and MMA podcast.
Good night, friends.